Hey everyone. Before I start this video, I just wanted to say that this is not some AI voiceover that I just fed a script to. Just me and my mic with this lovely Watch Dogs 2 gameplay in the background. It's a little bit different of a style of video today, but I just wanted to share this story with y'all and hopefully you guys can take something of value from it, or it's just entertaining. Okay? So, let's just get into it. The story on how my favorite video game decided my degree. Everyone knows that feeling of hitting your final years of high school and being asked the same question constantly from teachers, friends, family, whoever. That question being, what are you going to do after graduation? And for some, the answer comes naturally and they can easily recite their whole plan for the next 5 years. But for others, like myself, this question would serve as a constant reminder that I had absolutely no plan at all. I had never planned that far ahead in the future, but now that future was approaching and I needed to get my stuff together. At this point, I had basically little to no passion for anything I can make a logical career out of. I was a huge gamer, and honestly, I just loved to be out in the world with my friends, and my favorite sport was parkour, so there wasn't much direction for me in terms of post secondary education. Honestly, though, at the time, this had never bothered me because I had a great time throughout my school years and I loved how I spent my time. But come grade 11 ish, reality really hit and I knew it was time to lock in. So, in grade 11, due to my love of parkour and all things physical activity, I thought maybe my calling would be something in fitness or sports industry, something like that. And I managed to get a co-op position at a local fitness center with the help of one of my teachers. This position honestly turned out to be less involved than I expected, and I spent most of my time cleaning and organizing some of the gym spaces, some of the gym equipment, all that kind of stuff. And I was bored. So bored. I tried to make my time a little bit more enjoyable by listening to music, but that got really stale fast. You can only listen to so much music, and doing it for hours and hours on end was just too much for me. I moved on to podcast eventually, which was actually a significant improvement. Shout out to the basement yard. Y'all got me through tons and tons of hours of cleaning, to be honest. But after a while, I wanted to switch it up. So I started calling my mom or my dad during the shift, and I would just talk to them for a bit through my earbuds while I was cleaning. Not the most professional, I know, but it was a very lonely couple of hours, so I had to do something. Okay? During those calls, especially those with my dad, I would express my worries about my future and how I'm not quite sure what I was going to do after I graduate, all that kind of stuff. I knew that I liked fitness and sports, but did I like it enough to do it as a career? That was the big question. I wasn't so sure at the time, but a new tradition was born. Okay? Out of this uncertainty, every shift I would hop on a phone call with my dad and he would hit me with just suggestion after suggestion for career paths. And we would do like a verbal review of each option as we went. the calls would go kind of like this. He would hit me with like chef. And I'd say, nah. He'd say accountant. And I'd be like, not feeling that one too much. Firefighter? Maybe I kind of like the feeling of that one. Just back and forth, back and forth. And we would have these talks like this for a pretty decent chunk of my cleaning shifts, just day after day, running through hundreds of career ideas before my dad finally threw me a beautiful idea. He told me I should work in the government intelligence space. And I thought that sounded sick as hell. It sounded like the perfect job. It had good pay, nice benefits, and I just thought it sounded like hella cinematic, so I was sold. Okay, I was sold instantly. We watched recruitment videos, started researching the role, got all excited about like the crazy life that I was gonna live. Until one day, that research led me to discover a crucial detail that we had missed earlier. Most positions, namely the one that I wanted, required me to have a degree or be pursuing one at least, bro. Oh my gosh, this was heartbreaking. Because now we were just back at square one. Because I was like, oh, I had just figured it out. I just thought, you know what? Government intelligence, we have it sorted. I don't got to figure out school. And now we're back to square one. I still have to figure out which degree I wanted to pursue. Now, my mindset at the time was that if I'm going to have to go to school anyways, go to university, college, whatever, I might as well pursue some kind of degree that I was slightly interested in while I was trying to get into government intelligence at the same time. And I was like, you know what, who knows? Maybe a degree would teach me a couple cool skills or something that would help make me a sick government intelligent agent or something like that. Now this is where the favorite video game comes in, which I know you guys saw in the title. in early 2017, I was in EB Games with my father and my brother. It was right after Christmas, and I was skimming the shelves looking for a new game to pick up in the new year when I stumbled upon the case for Watch Dogs 2. Okay? A game that I knew very little about. I had never played the first one. To me, this game just meant two things that I got basically off the case of the disc, and that was the game had parkour and the game had hacking. The first parkour had really enticed me because obviously I was always into parkour, but the concept of hacking itself was fairly new to me, but I thought it sounded sick. So I was hooked, and I proceeded to beg my father to let me grab the game, which he did, and we headed home. And from that very first mission in the game, I knew, oh my God, I knew that I had found something legendary. And the whole vibe just like clicked with me right off the bat. The character you play as, Marcus, has smooth parkour movement. The hacking was creative and intuitive. Plus, the fact that you could play music through Marcus's earbuds at any time meant the soundtrack would just perfectly complement all aspects of the gameplay. It was beautiful. But this is not no Watch Dogs 2 review. But anyways, I could just go on and on about this game, but maybe one day I'll make a video like going in depth about what I love about the game. But back to the point. Watch Dogs 2 had introduced me to hacking as a concept, as a whole community, and honestly, most importantly, something that could be learned and that I could learn and that I could do in real life. So when I was thinking about a degree, oh my gosh, I want to get into government intelligence. What degree should I take? My mind instantly went to something to do with computers. Now, honestly, you may ask, why didn't I just choose computers from the very start instead of going through all these loopholes and these circles? Well, that's because I was not a computers kid at all. Okay, I played games and stuff, but I didn't know how to code aside from my very, very limited experience with Scratch. Y'all legends will know what I'm talking about. But I had never done like anything else on my computer besides literally gaming and watching YouTube. And on top of that, there was always a little stigma around like computer science or IT people, and I didn't see that life for myself, and I honestly didn't think I was at that knowledge level. But now that I was thinking about just getting the degree for the skills and not an actual career in IT, my mindset shifted. Okay, I started looking at programs, starting with computer science because that was all that I really knew, and then I quickly realized something. Okay, I was not qualified at all for any of these programs. And there's a reason they tell you to plan your courses out when you're in high school. Because since I never saw myself pursuing IT or anything like that, I never took any of those early computer courses or even like the math courses that you needed to get into these university programs. Because I hated math. Okay, and honestly, looking through all those programs, I had a fear that I might be cooked. Okay, but I kept searching. Okay, until one day I found a program at a university that I had never heard of that was less computer science and programming and more networking heavy with security topics kind of on the side. And this was way more appealing to me because I didn't want to be a programmer, and I had thought that if I want to hack networks, like, might as well understand them. So the networking stuff was interesting to me as well. So I decided that I would apply to this program and only this program. Okay, and my mindset was if I didn't get in, then I would just go back to school and complete a math course or two, and then I would try again. So, picture this. While everyone else was in class talking about, oh, this is the main program at my main university and their backups, and they're like, oh, I want to go here, but if I don't get in, then I'm okay going here. I was sat there with one application, okay? All of my eggs in one basket, which I do not recommend by any means, okay? Do not do this. But that's what I decided to do. And I got in, okay? I got into university. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of my schooling in this video. I can honestly cover it in a separate, like, story video if y'all are interested. But by the time I was, like, 2 years into my program, I had just fallen in love with the idea of pursuing ethical hacking or offensive security as an entire career. I had completely forgotten about the original reason that I went to school in the first place. Okay. I was completely out of my depth, okay, when it came to all this stuff, but I had a passion for all these topics I was learning because honestly, I just loved Watch Dogs 2 and I wanted to do what they did. So I just kept at it the best that I could. And before I knew it, I had bagged an internship in the Bay Area, bro. The exact place where Watch Dogs 2 took place. Oh my gosh. It was a dream come true. And I was working an IT job in the Bay Area. I was visiting all the landmarks from the game, and it was beautiful. Okay, I was there for a couple months, and after the internship was over, I went back to school to finish my degree, and on top of that, I got a return offer to go back to the same company full time after graduation, which is crazy, which is insane for me. Okay, so now where I'm at now, I've graduated and I'm prepping to head back out there full time for who knows how long. Okay, and I don't know, man. Like if you told high school me that this would be happening, he definitely would not have believed you. Okay, and as weird as it may sound, I truly owe it all to Watch Dogs 2. Okay, I decided to pursue schooling based on something I genuinely just enjoyed, and I knew it would provide me some real world skills, and it ended up being one of the best decisions I have ever made. So, yeah, that's the story. That's where I'm at now. I hope that was able to entertain, hopefully inspire, give y'all some motivation. That's all. Thanks for listening, guys.